I want to invite someone to the stage who was in that room leading the charge from the inside on how to create these better systems. And so with that, I'd like to welcome our Federal Chief Information Officer, Clare Martorana, to the stage. I just want to start off by, before we sit down, tell me about the shirt.
One answer. It's something all of us can do across government to help people get access to the information that they need. They don't need a million answers. I searched on how to apply for Medicare. Guess how many answers I got? 260 million. People don't need 260 million answers. They need one answer that's trusted, credible, accurate, timely, and verified. And we can do that. We can do that. You can do that. And that's why we're going to talk about one answer and a bunch of other things that we need your help accomplishing.
Well, it's good to be back again.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's been a year.
Great to be in person. How fun is this?
So I really do want to start out because it has been a year.
Yep.
We talked a lot about this on the stage last time you were
Yep.
here, but a whole lot of work has now happened.
Yeah.
So just love to hear more about what the progress has been.
Yeah, it's been a busy year. I think a way to sum it up for the Office of the Federal CIO, we manage the $120 billion federal IT budget across 430 plus agencies and bureaus. What we've gotten accomplished this year is focusing on simple, seamless, and secure. And while you might think that those are just three, nice words, a nice sentence, they're actually really meaningful. Simple, one answer, making it really seamless for someone to go from task to task, journey to journey across the federal ecosystem. And no question that we have to build in security by design. Security is not something you bolt on at the end of product delivery. Security has to start with your product concepts and vision so that we're able to execute with excellence.
It's great. And I won't ask ChatGPT what is next. Instead, I'll just ask you, what is next? What can we see coming that you're working on in the Federal CIO office?
Yep. So a couple things. Cybersecurity, every day, all day. It is what we focus on. So making sure that teams across government are able to implement on their zero trust journey, that we have funding aligned. We work very closely across OMB with our budget colleagues to make sure that agencies have what they need to be able to move out on that journey. And I think there is a lot of effort going on as well with some additional strategy. So we rolled out the National Cyber Strategy about a month and a half ago. And a very important part of that is federal was included in the strategy, right? It was not all of the other 16 infrastructure segments of our economy. It also includes the federal government, which is really important. We're working on implementation plans for that. In addition to that, a lot of work going on in AI, as you can imagine. It has become top of mind for every agency. It's important for the cabinet. And we have started out convening across the Executive Office of the President multiple stakeholders. We completed an inventory for FY22, and we had over 1,100 use cases of AI currently in the federal government. So people are moving out using this technology, but it's really incumbent upon us to make sure that it is fair, equitable, not biased, and that we are using it with consciousness about the threat environment that we're operating in. We have a lot of adversarial threats that we manage on a daily basis, both attacks on our infrastructure and attacks on all of our digital properties. So really important that we stay focused on that.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing I think I'm excited about, which is probably very relevant for this audience, is we are putting out guidance this summer in addition to AI guidance that should be out early in the summer for public comment. So I want to just foot stomp on that for a second. When we put out guidance for public comment, we actually want your comments. We want people to help us make our policies better. So please, when you see things that go out for public comment, please lean into that and we review every single bit of feedback that we get. Really important to hear from academics, our industry partners, vendors, the community itself. So please stay tuned and make sure that you do participate in that. But the big guidance that I'm focused on right now is the 21st Century Idea Guidance. It is a law that was passed in 2018. It's 5 years old already, but we didn't put guidance out on it. And because we didn't put guidance out on it, many agencies did not lean into it. And the guidance is really simple. It's digital first, mobile first, totally accessible, electronic signatures, modernizing forms. It is the government we want to have so that the public can interact with us in a completely digital way that is simple and seamless, obviously secure, but in addition to that, it is really important that we are focused on making sure that agencies are able to implement. So we are working really hard across government to make sure that we have standards that people can follow, right? So that you don't have to go out on this journey on your own. So if you're at an agency, important that you have a place to start.
That's fantastic. And I know for many of us, we've been talking about user experience, all of that from the very beginning. And to hear not only the executive order, but really to start to see the guidance and how this is going to play out has been important. How are you seeing, if you can imagine, move down the road a bit, if we're successful in this idea, what does this look like for the American people?
Yeah, I'm going to read you a couple numbers that
Great.
I wanted to make sure to share with this audience because I think that you'll really respond to it. So, critical to that digital first experience, but it's never going to only be digital, right? We have to meet users where they are. Some people want to call someone and speak to a human on the phone. Some people want to go to an office. So we want to make sure that our strategy is always omni-channel, but digital leading it. An example, we did it at OPM. We looked at our call center data, and we found that 62% of our data of calls coming into the call center were just trying to reset their password. So we modernized resetting the password so that the calls could go through and someone could speak to a person about an actual problem, not about something that we can easily solve through a digital transaction. But here's some of the numbers I thought it would be interesting for this audience. So 1.7 billion visits to federal websites a month.
A month.
Okay. 80 billion hours spent on websites, federal websites. 53% use mobile devices, which is a lot lower than in the private sector. My old companies were in the 80% mobile. So 53% mobile. But 50% of federal websites are not accessible to people with different abilities. And that's a shame, and that's something we have to work hard to fix. 40% of federal websites are not mobile friendly.
40%.
40%.
Still.
70% do not use the US web design system.
Wow.
Right? These are really important numbers. 2% of federal forms are digitized. 2%. You think you're all going to have work for the next 10 years? You certainly are, because we have a lot of work to do. We have, let's see, 10. This number is right. 10 billion hours are spent on federal paperwork. 10 billion hours of time tax is what we put on the American public. And it costs the federal government $38 billion a year to process paper. We can do better. Come on, we are a digital community, right? We know how to do this. And while you might think it's simple for me to sit up here and for us to talk about one answer, something simple, it's a place to start. We need one answer to your question. Start there. No duplicate content. Bringing the subject matter experts together. Using digital data. You have to be able to look at your metrics. Who's coming to your websites? What are they clicking on? How long are they staying? What do they do next? Where do they go next? These are the most foundational things that all of us know how to do and should be doing and applying to the work that we do every single day. So it's really important work. I am so thrilled to be here, so thrilled for the work that you do and for this community. Meet people. If you are working in the government, please meet each other and get on the journey. Please read the IDEA Act. It's only 4 pages. It's really simple. Read it. It will fill you with joy and hope that we can actually get this accomplished, and then look forward to getting our guidance out this summer.
Yeah. And Claire, I just want to say, from a year ago, it's really fantastic to hear that you all are using data, even in figuring out what does this look like? How does it look? Because we've always said you are what you measure.
Yeah.
And now we can actually measure it. And I am grateful for the work that you're doing. And when we talk about what does this look like 10 years from now, it is on the front lines what you are doing that can change the relationship between government and people again. So grateful to have you here and to help us kick off the first conversation of this summit. Thank you so much.